It's Faith After Dark. How you doing, folks? You saw the headline, Walking Away from Toxic. I missed you guys. It's been a little while. Are you doing good? Did you have a good day? I hope you had a good day. Did you do your best? I did my best. I'm a little tired. But as I was preparing for tonight, I thought, well, I'm not going to not do it. I purposely record these when I'm a little tired, and it's been a good day. Interesting times. It just seems like yesterday that Johnny Depp was a bona fide wife beater. I mean, you saw the headlines. You even saw clips of Amber Heard with what looked like a mark around her eye, and other places a little video clip. Thought it was kind of weird that she had her phone set up, staging a clip, and then a provocation, and Johnny Depp slamming his hand on a bar. But nonetheless, boy, it was very, very obvious that Johnny Depp was a wife beater, and how quickly the media jumped on board. And man, it was just unbelievable. People felt sorry for sweet, beautiful Amber Heard. And but you know what though? Time would tell. Time would reveal that Johnny was not a wife beater. That Amber Heard had staged the phone to record his behavior, which actually turned out to be reaction to the end of his finger being cut off from a vodka bottle she threw at him before she conveniently filmed that scene. Also, a makeup artist would verify that she had no abrasion on her face. That was improvised. And of course, the press release was a preemptive attack, a desire to destroy someone she claimed to love. It turned out that Amber Heard was a liar. She had borderline personality disorder, BPD. Man, wasn't she calling Johnny a narcissist? Let me tell you something. Nobody uses the word narcissist more than a true narcissist. Have you been dealing with a toxic relationship with a narcissist or someone maybe with BPD? You know, that seemed to be a big thing. Everyone was talking about that. She ended up moving to Spain out of the country. And Johnny Depp won the suit, the defamation suit, and began to get parts back. But it was a little too late. Johnny saw who his true friends were and who they weren't. When you decide to walk away or to cease a toxic relationship, you find out who your friends are and you find out who they're not. But this BPD thing wasn't new to a young man who in 1989 was about to marry his high school sweetheart. He loved her. And sure, there were some issues. There were some signs, just a terror of abandonment, an estrangement from her father, a mother that she quarreled with, and but shortly before their wedding, she got violent. Now, this young man, was no stranger to roughhousing or whatever, but he was raised, you never hit a woman. You don't even hit one back. But she became violent, and one night she side clocked him in the car, and it shocked him. And the behavior became more and more aggressive verbally and even violently. I mean, they dated for almost 3 years, but this behavior somehow was concealed until right before the wedding. Well, this young man called off his wedding, and the young lady uh, threatened to kill herself. So what did he do? Well, he decided to try to be the white knight to fix it. And so he decided to get married anyway. And for the next 17 years, nearly, he lived in hell. Every other day, she loved him. Every other day, she hated him. And when she loved him, boy, she loved him. But when she hated him, man, she hated him. She looked different. I mean, talked in a lower voice even. It was bizarre. And of course, in those days, borderline personality disorder was not a common term. But through seasons, through trying everything, this couple split up half a dozen times, and not even their family knew all the times that they had split up. But there was a love there that would bring them back together, and soon children would come. And but unfortunately, the cycle of abuse remained the same. Some of you have been in a toxic relationship, and you need to hear this. There's a cycle of abuse. There's the explosion of abuse, like this young man went through, verbal, physical, emotional, you know, and then everything's okay. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. And then out of nowhere, boom, another explosion of abuse. And everything's fine. Everything's fine until it comes back around again. And the abuser is just fine, especially one with BPD. They're the true narcissists. There's no empathy. There's no empathy chip. They can kiss you in the mouth and stab you in the heart with no problem. But the problem with the cycle of abuse is that the person that is receiving the abuse, each time they deteriorate even more. They begin. It's what I would call a slow death. And when this young man, after nearly 17 years, found out that his own children were pretending to fight each other just to get mom to calm down, she would get upset about something and literally foam out the sides of her mouth and turn red, and then soon would get violent. Now, this man did not let her hit him. He blocked all the punches. He made it 17 years without ever hitting her back or biting her back, all the other horrible things. But you know, when you're in a toxic relationship, you bring out the worst in each other. Have you ever been with someone that you hate who you are when you're with them? Have you ever been with someone that you love who you are when you're with them? Well, finally, one final episode, it finally came to a head. She was upset about something, was foaming out the sides of her mouth, screaming, wailing, screaming some pretty bad things, and then started to try to hit him, and that's when he snapped. He didn't hit her back. He took a high chair, an empty one, kids were not around, and threw it over an island, and it crushed the glass and the house he built, and a custom oven. And she freaked out. She never saw him finally have enough and respond. What she didn't know, though, is that there were pastors that would come to this young man, and these pastors would say, "We don't agree with divorce, but you better make a change." Even his own family members would say, "You're either going to wake up with a knife in you or you're finally going to hit her back." Well, those warnings echoed in his mind when this final event happened. He finally lost it, and he turned to her and he said, "I can't believe I did that. But I'm so happy that after all these years, I didn't hit you back." And so he made a transition. and got divorced. Little did he know that the next 17 years he would be in court, relentlessly sued and alienated from his children. Why do I know this story so well? Because that man was me. It happened to me. I didn't have anyone tell me about the cycle of abuse until it was too late. I didn't have anyone encourage me, and I should have figured it out, but I had a misguided notion of my impact on the world. I thought it would hurt people if I got divorced, and I found out people just really didn't care. God cares. Maybe a special friend cares in your inner circle. Maybe some family members care, but all the people that you may stay in a horrible situation for, they don't care. They've got their own problems to deal with. And it comes down to this: what you can tolerate, you'll never change. What you can tolerate, you'll never change. And if you were in a toxic relationship, especially with someone with borderline personality disorder, it's not going to change. It didn't change in 17 years. All the drastic measures and attempts to make this person happy never worked. And they always fought about one thing: how I, wasn't good enough. You know, if you're in a toxic relationship, especially one like that, and you're dealing with someone without empathy, that's what psychopaths are made of. And they may be able to project to the press or to the family or to the church, a church that really doesn't care. The pastor may care, but it's my last count. I haven't had a phone call in 17 years from all the people that I stayed in hell for. But you know what? There is a friend that sticks closer than a brother, and that's Jesus. He will walk with you when you need to walk away from a toxic situation. What you can tolerate, you'll never change. So make a decision to do what's best for you and your children, and stay healthy. Be good to each other, and concentrate on what you can do, what you can take action on. And most importantly, you know, like Stephen Covey, who actually stole it from a friend of mine with Victorious Christian Living, you know, only focus on what you can change, and be encouraged. Be encouraged. For some of you, maybe it's long past time to make a change, but the cycle of abuse seldom changes until they make a decision to change. But freedom is wonderful. I now enjoy a wonderful, stress-free, drama-free, scream-free life with my wonderful wife, Christy. And people ask, how you doing? Well, I'm in heaven. I'm not being bit or punched at or scratched or, you know, told I'm worthless or sabotaged or none of those things. It's possible for you if you have been in an abusive situation. Men don't usually talk about this. There's men who don't hit back and they slowly die a slow death. There's men who do hit back and they're the ones who go to jail. Even if there's a knife in them, they're the ones that go to jail initially. And then there's men who don't hit back, but finally make a change. I made that change, maybe a little too late, but God blessed me with beautiful children, and I'll never regret that. But be encouraged. What you can tolerate, you'll never change. And when you can no longer tolerate a toxic relationship in peace, knowing you've done all that you can do, you can walk away and live another day. There is hope, and this has been Faith After Dark.